how much we should be playing favorites. The next article that I have just up is calling playing favorites for the hospital boards. And I know, for instance, like my own mother is, I mean, she does work in the hospital constantly. She's in the hospital every day. But there are people who are getting the vaccine prior to other people out of this list. And who defines the list? A lot of times it's people who are administrators in the hospitals as well. So they're getting the vaccine before other people. And I'm not sure how to feel about that because I know that my dad is much more in trouble here than my mom, but she's got it the vaccine immediately. Let me just state, so in Rhode Island, Attorney General Peter Naranjo opened an inquiry after reports that two hospital systems offered their board members vaccinations. A Seattle area hospital system was rebuked by Washington Governor Jay Inslee after it offered COVID-19 vaccination appointments to major donors. To major donors.
Yep, there you go.
And in Kansas, yeah, and in Kansas, members of a hospital board received vaccinations during the first phase of the state's rollout, which were intended for greater risk infected people. So yeah, no, there you go. I mean, that was just it already. You've already had your first impropriety when it comes to this.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're not caring about frontline workers or anything like that. I mean, if we really cared, we would be giving them to all hospital workers immediately. We would give them to all frontline, everybody that, even the people that are working in your grocery store that are putting their lives on the line for you every single day so that you can get your any food that you want or anything like that. Those people should also be, first to get this vaccination, but it's not happening that way. These people that you've deemed essential workers, right? That they couldn't afford to stay home during the first wave of lockdown. These should all be people that are getting it first. But who cares about those guys? I mean, essential. We just tell you that to make you feel better.
They've proven that like they don't care about the average person at this point. Like everything that they've decided, like they could have gotten more vaccines situated. I mean, I don't know how fast they can produce them. I don't want to say that, but at least honesty wise, like the people should know exactly where things stand, and there should be like some sort of like money or some sort of like support given to the people that need help that can't work or can't risk being at work in a situation like this. It's screwed up, man. The whole situation is screwed up, and like the government has proven that we're not a priority. Like they just want us back to work. They want everything to be normal. They're kind of like my mom used to say, if something is dirty, you have to clean it first before you paint over it, because if not, it'll come through the paint and like all the other stuff. Like the whole things that have a clean foundation, and and that's not what they want to do. They want to just like the government wants to like just like shoot people away or do whatever they do to try to like navigate through the BS, even though they're the ones at fault for everything. The same thing with the whole the stock exchange things with GameStop or whatever it is. The things that they prioritize is a problem. They're not prioritizing the people. They're prioritizing like the people with the money, the lobbyists, and so on and so forth. And like when Trump was in office, he was just lying. Now Biden's going into office and he's picking up from wherever Trump left off, and he's starting to realize how crappy and messed up it was left. You know what I mean? It's like going to like renting out a house to somebody and then getting to the house and realize they trashed the interior of the house. You know what I'm saying? That's what Trump did. You know what I mean? And he's in there cleaning all that stuff. And I can't give too much credit to Biden because Biden's an idiot too. You know what I mean? I think Bernie would handle it a lot better. That's just whatever, me supporting Bernie or whatever. But you understand what I'm saying? Like it's like this is what we're dealing with right now. Like you can't look at it from what you're seeing in the mainstream media. You got to look at it from the perspective of what's actually happening. What do you feel with your gut? What do you see them actually doing? Why is it taking so long? These are questions that you need to ask yourself on whether or not these people are like really serious about you as a priority. You know what I'm saying? And they've proven to us that we're not. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I give mad respect and time for those people that I love and care about. The government's not doing that for us, so I don't feel like they love and care about us. I think there's people involved in the process that do, but how do you change something that's controlled by rich like people with specific agendas that don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Like this will eventually go away, and they'll still be rich, hiding in their private resort somewhere. You know what I'm saying? While we're sitting here dying, like that's 420,000 people have died already, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And then,
how many people have to die for them? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, please finish.
I just don't understand how many people have to die for somebody to realize that somebody's screwing up somewhere, and that this should be fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, I would never. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm not saying I would do a better job, but I'd be fighting a lot harder than what Trump was doing. I can't blame Biden for anything yet because he's just started.
Well, Trump gave up.
But it's
Trump gave up in the end.
Trump. I think I think some of these people are purposely like. There's some like underhanded like thing going on. Well, I think a lot of this stuff is purposely being done because it makes absolutely no sense that it's like people are just shrugging their shoulders in situations. I'm like, yo, like, do you realize we have like a ill disease? You can't give us any money to survive. You know the money is going to be respent back into the economy, but instead you're screwing the public. And then when the public goes to GameStop and makes some money, you're wrong. They're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is like you look back at him like this is like the Twilight Zone, bro. This is literally like the freaking Twilight Zone.
It was like that that tweet I saw the other day. It's like, invest your money. Poor people should invest their money, but not like that. Don't invest your money like that.
Yep. Don't make money. You can invest it, but you can only lose it. It's like gambling at the freaking casinos. They know you're coming in there to try to make money, and they want you to lose at the end of the day because it's better for the house.
Of course, house always wins, right?
You know, so yeah, that's what it is, bro.
I was gonna ask a controversial question. How do you feel about the fact that there are so many? The vaccine probably won't just go out to these people first, but the people in the media and entertainment industry that are especially the bigger level people have been receiving swabs, etc., and have been able to have access to this most of the time that the industry has been semi-open since like September, October. How do we feel about that? Do we personally all say to ourselves, we need entertainment as well? We value these people. Do they get vaccination? Are they on the list of vaccinations, or do they have to wait until June, May, June? Especially if you're a freelancer, for instance, and not working for for a larger company at that time. And that's a big question. I think that's a hard to answer question, because for me, of course, it would help me, but it doesn't mean that that's necessarily the best way to go.
So the problem is people aren't adapting. People aren't understanding certain things need to happen in order for us to go back the way it was. A lot of people, they're sitting here panicking. They think that they're like locked in a room that they can't go out of. That's not the truth. I mean, yes, there's like hardships and anxieties and other things that are being made by this pandemic. But at the same time, it's like if you don't make the adjustment, you're just prolonging it. You know what I'm saying? Like these people don't understand. We could be in a better position right now if they stop being assholes. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that at the end of the day, that's what it is. That people are being a-holes, and they're freaking deciding to do whatever the hell they want to do with their lives. And I get it. It's your life. You want to live it. You want to go jump off a bridge and kill yourself? Cool, whatever. Do whatever it is to you. But you're impacting everybody that is important to other people, not just yourself. You know what I mean? And people don't get that. You know what I mean?
I think with the industry stuff too, it's just like when we started getting talks about the coronavirus, and there was no tests being done. Nobody was getting tested, but all these people in the industry, especially celebrities and stuff like that, they were getting these tests that nobody else was getting. Where are they getting them from? Oh, I wonder. They were making sure that they were being taken care of. They were getting tested. They were making sure that what they were getting was the best care. It's not a big surprise that, of course, they're going to be the ones that are trying to get these vaccines too, that they're in the front of the line for all this stuff too. I mean, can you imagine? They always say one big box office hit, if that fails, then it takes out the whole movie industry. So of course they're trying to get all the actors, everybody back and working, and again, because this industry doesn't want to fail either. Then it's going to be another thing that we're going to have to bail out.
Yo, everything is fragile. Everything that's out there that people think are like, oh, they're so powerful, they're trillionaires, billionaires. Like I bet you, like if you trip Apple up or any of these other people the right way, like you just gotta know what it is that you gotta trip up. And you could screw them over. You could screw up anybody at the end of the day if you know the little Achilles heel. You know what I'm saying? Like that at the end of the day. And we think that, oh, the stock market's secure, the housing market, all this. Like they give you these false illusions and people buy into it. And they have no idea like how like just like a little thing. Look what happened with GameStop, man. Like I keep going back to it. That goes to show you that like if you have a bunch of rich people doing whatever they do, manipulating stuff, finally you get a group of people. They all go into an area like I forget the name of the website that they have, but it's like a betting thing for stocks.
Robinhood.
No, it's not Robinhood. Robinhood is part of it, but there's
What
the
you mean
Reddit,
the actual Reddit, the Reddit chain that was
yeah. It's a group of people that they all came together and decided to do something. So it's just like, either way it's manipulated. It's either by the few or the many. The one, if you do it by the many, it's a problem. If you do it by the few, it's okay to get, that the few, the rich, the powerful, those are the few. You know what I mean? Not by like the public that could actually benefit from it. And at the end of the day, the rich still freaking get it because we still gotta buy shit. Excuse my language, but go ahead. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day,
but much more intrinsically though, you're talking. Much more intrinsically, yes, the fragility of the media companies is very true. Actually, like they don't want to talk about it. They want to pretend like they can just keep making movies. But right now, they're betting on just only making really big, good movies because they can't do what they used to do and make losses on other movies that just to settle up the scores on contracts. Yep. So yeah, right now they're in a panic too because they don't want to be bailed out, and they're kind of like the AV and the people who do audio visual stuff and do concerts, etc. They can't go out there and work yet because we don't know when we can have an indoor or outdoor festival market of any sort. And that's another like question, which is more important, the entertainment that you get on your TV and you get on the internet, or just your generalized entertainment that you got as a person out there. And I don't think there's any right answer to this question because I think that we don't have enough vaccines out. I'm very much a proponent, and I know this is not a very popular view, but I'm a very much a proponent of having an executive order to have the army go out there and give vaccines, go out there and literally set up stations state to state and actually go there as a federal mandate to do so. I think that we need to
I have a problem with that. I don't know, but it's good. That
it doesn't mean that you have to go and get it. It means that it's available for you. Actually, the federal government is out there serving it up. It means that, I don't think you can force anybody to go get the actual vaccine, but I think you can say, here it is available for you, and you can actually get it without waiting in the proverbial line, right?
Yep.
I just don't think that they're there yet to do any of that. I think ideally that might be something that Biden administration is working on, because of the way he was talking about getting all these vaccines out and trying to get all these people, most of the American public to be vaccinated. But I don't think we're anywhere near that. I don't even know, if they're able to churn out that amount of vaccinations at this time. It's just, I think, unrealistic from what the previous administration left this administration to do. It's just a lot. It's a lot, and it was something that this has been hemorrhaging pretty much for a while, and for them to try to take it over and fix it now, it's going to be a while. I don't see anything springing into action like that. It would be great. I think that would be great, honestly, if there were stations. There's stations everywhere for testing sites now, which is great. If you need to be tested, you can get rapid testing, which it does have its own problems itself. You can get rapid tests. You can get the saliva test. You can get the test through the nostrils. Now you can get all of them. They're completely accessible, like they should have been at the beginning. But we're at that point now, finally, at least, to have testing. I think eventually it might get to that point where you'll be able to go to these testing sites and maybe actually get the vaccine as well, which would be great. Hopefully they get there. Hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully before another 400,000 people die.
Thank God for competency, right?
Mm.
Thank God, like we
Yeah,
finally have
and I
competent people. Go ahead.
yeah, and I just want to be clear for there's somebody in our chat here who's talking about they're not willing to get the vaccination. I want to be very clear. When I mean mandate, I mean that you give the state a federal mandate to open up stations to do so, not that you tell people that they have to have the vaccination. I personally, of course, am going to get the vaccine for my own personal reasons. But what I'm saying is that I don't think that we have a wide enough program and stations to do it. And I Teresa just said it. I mean, it's completely correct that there's not enough vaccines even for that right now. So, I mean, it's more of me trying to tell you what the future could hold, but instead we might be in a holding pattern for a while. I'm saying this could be all the way in May. Like, I don't know if I'll get a vaccine until April or May. I might not qualify for it, and it might not happen. I just don't think we should leave it to just private industries. And I would love to if it was in more clinics, sure, but it's hard. Most of these vaccines have very specific techniques that you have to keep them. So I just want to talk about it in a large scale.
Yeah, we have to, like, as a country, be more trusting in the people that are providing these services. The only thing about it is we've been deceived so long. It's like, how do you trust people that have deceived you in the past? And like that's what's the problem with this country. They burn bridges, then they do a little something, and people forget over time, and then they keep burning bridges, and then like eventually, like look at the way the Democratic Party is, the Republican Party. They're all splintered because of the fact that they screwed each other's trust levels up. Like everything is manipulation with them. You know what I mean? Instead of us being able to like do what's right for the people. You know what I mean? Like people think, why can't we be a little socialist? I don't mind a little capitalism as long as we have a little socialism.
Yeah.
But people don't want to settle, man. People don't want to compromise. Everybody wants their way, and if it doesn't affect them, they don't give a damn about it. They're like, well, that's nothing to do with me. Poor people. People drive by seeing homeless, things in L.A. or whatever it is, where they have homeless people in the streets in certain areas, and they complain about them instead of like thinking of ideas to give them resources and stuff. It's people are stupid, man. Like
but I think it is the responsibility of the government to try to instill the for us to actually try them to convince us to trust them. Not the other way around. We shouldn't be like, oh, we should really trust the government. No, how about you guys give us something worth trusting and we won't have a problem getting vaccinated. We won't have a problem with all that stuff. It's just that's where the hesitance comes from. We don't have a government that we feel we can trust, and they need to fix that. They need to be the ones to fix that. It's not on us. We're doing as much as people can do, with the information that's being provided. So the government's got to be the one to step up and try to make people trust them again. It's not going to be easy, especially after this last administration. But there's a whole slew of history that you can look on to say that you not to trust the United States government, let alone any other government that's out there.